So I was scrolling and I saw this. After seeing a play, me. Damn, they did that all in one take. And in this response, someone dared ponder if there was an intermission, did they really?
Hi, Sauce Scrolls here. Now, before we can say if that counts as a take, we must first define what constitutes a take. We all know what a take is. It's an activity that you do in one single go at it. But it gets tricky to define when you think about time. There are tasks that one does over time that, depending on the length and the intensity, may take breaks. But that introduces the question: does a break a take? Does it disqualify a take, or instead create a new one? Going back to a play, there are intermissions in order for the performers to change costumes, scenarios, props, and backgrounds to be swapped, but as a show, it is viewed as one performance. You can look at it as a puzzle, where each piece placed creates a bigger picture. Taking a second to pick up the next piece and adding it doesn't suddenly make it a second take. So although time is a variable in varying lengths, it is not the deciding factor. As long as you can see a necessary progress in the continuity that doesn't involve redoing an action to replace. In the case of a play, intermittence, but overall, so long as an action isn't repeated to replace that same action, it is a forward-only momentum. This also explains the grouping factor in accordance to two things: what is possible and applicable for oneself, and what is possible on average. The state of travel before flights and vehicles was obviously much slower, so clearly there would need to be stops, breaks, stays, and you then look at the macro. You may board multiple flights for one destination, but ultimately you could call it one journey. Although all forms of travel are still used today and not replacing each other, just because another method is faster, you don't use the variable of time from one method as a constraint or standard when doing the other in order to classify it as a take. In the future, if say we develop cybernetic mods to human bodies and achieve greater speeds of traveling on foot, like in a race, it then becomes its own grouping that uses time as a variable and the activity itself as the decider for what is one take and what isn't, in accordance to the possibility and capability within itself and oneself. An interesting way to view it in the perception of time and input versus progress output is in the making of a pizza. In the eyes of a customer, you as a viewer, getting a slice after slice as you watch this show, it only becomes one entire pizza in the end. But from the performer's perspective, the entire pizza was always there. It was only the limitation of time and residing in the physical realm as we know it that you receive this slice by slice in what one could mistakenly perceive as multiple takes. We live life day by day, morning by night, hour to minute to second. But those are the time variables we introduce for the sake of measurement. In the end, it is still one life. And whether there is a way to take a second take is unknown. But if you're watching this now, you're still on your first. Make of that what you will. But that's just my take. And as always, thanks for watching.